I brought something with me this morning. Anyone ever seen one of these?
Yeah, once or twice.
Once or twice?
Yep. It's the Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, do you want to feel the edge of that?
Silky.
Yep.
Silky edge.
Yep.
Does that bring back memories?
Yep.
Come on, you all had one, right?
Yep.
No idea.
What? I don't remember.
no
Listen to him.
idea.
If I did, I'm not going to admit to it.
Yeah, I know.
Well, there was no one awake in my house when I left this morning, so I got to steal this one. Don't tell them I have it. Mine is long since gone. It didn't make it through the washing machine several thousand times, and after 49 plus years, I wouldn't want to bring it out anyhow. There's a character in Peanuts who always has one of these. It was a blue color, and wherever he went, there it was. And whenever they doubted his need for it, he would always show that there was some powerful need for that blanket, right? He turned it into a baseball bat. He could hit the flies as they went by. He could shape it and mold it into all sorts of things. Charles Schulz wrote a strip called "Happiness is a Warm Blanket," Charlie Brown. And in that strip, the other Peanut characters, they started to get angry. Maybe even a little bit jealous. Said, "What are you doing with that blanket? Get rid of it. It's dirty, it's disgusting, you drag it around everywhere, you don't need it." And they started to really pick on Linus. Until finally Linus, he just stands up and he says, "Oh, really?" And he begins to point out all the different security blankets that the other characters have that they didn't even know they had. He said, "Schroeder, what about you and that piano? It goes with you wherever you are. And, what about Lucy?" He said, "You're so strong and so mean and so aggressive all the time, but you're always where Schroeder is, chasing him around the place all the time." And he goes around and he names all these things, and, he says, we all have insecurities and we all have security blankets. And we carry them with us, whether they look like this with the silky edge, or for some of us it's possessions. We fill our closets and our garages with them. There has been actual scientific studies about how important the blanket is. There's been scientific studies about how children need a security blanket, especially during tough times like illnesses, divorce, and death. The blanket, they find comfort in the touch, the warmth, the way it covers them. And it's been proven so much that an organization called Project Linus got started. And Project Linus has given out 400,000 security blankets to children in hospitals, after natural disasters, during times of family grieving. All because there's scientific proof that we need this. Another gentleman who is in our scriptures who was very aware of how much we needed this, and his name was Jesus Christ. And Jesus knew how much we needed this, so much so that we would often depend upon this rather than anything else. Now, when times got really tough and we began to doubt and our earth began to shake and we didn't know if we were going to be saved and we were exiled out into the wilderness and there was no food and water, we would turn to our security blanket. So, after Jesus walked and taught and was crucified and died and he was resurrected, he came to the people and he said, "I know you need a security blanket. And my Father is not going to ever leave you alone. As a matter of fact, when I leave and I return to heaven, he's going to give you someone to take my place. Someone that we call the Great Comforter. He will reside within you, so that you never have to worry about leaving him at your friend's house, or if you go out for the day at the barbecue, or at your grandma's house. You're never going to worry about leaving this anywhere, because it's going to reside within you, and that's where he will live. And he is the Holy Spirit, the great comforter. And he comes from me, the wonderful counselor, the King of Kings, the one whom you have all turned to find solace and comfort and guidance and grace. And that would be the Holy Spirit. So you don't need to drag this around anymore. You don't need to always turn to someone else and cling to them. You don't need to have all of your possessions. You don't need to turn to other ways to distract your mind and your body. You can put away the drugs and the alcohol, because the Holy Spirit now resides within you. And that Holy Spirit is your comforter. It's like the silk on the edge of the blanket that you can caress and be reminded of his presence. You know, brothers and sisters, I have one here today, but this is not mine, I have to admit. Mine's long since gone. I had one. It'd be kind of silly if I brought it with me every day, wouldn't it? You'd be wondering, what is that blanket sitting up on the pulpit with the preacher? Why is it there? I came in to talk and get a little counseling from the preacher, and he pulled out a blanket, and he had it over his shoulder. What is with this blanket? We outgrow them, don't we? But we never outgrow our need for a blanket. We trade these things in. Some of us trade these things in for money. The more money we have, the more comfort we feel, the more security. If I just had a little bit more, then I would have less stress. If I could fill my garage with a few more things, if I could have a few more friends. Jesus said, you don't need any of this, because residing within you is the Holy Spirit. And that comforter is all you need. So whenever you feel doubt, depression, whenever you're unsure about yourself, whenever you don't know which way to go, turn to your security, the Holy Spirit. And there you will find great comfort, greater than any blanket or any other possession or obsession. That's why Jesus left it. He knew that in our faith walk, we would outgrow this and turn to it. So as you leave here today, remember you have your security blanket with you. You brought it with you. You may not have recognized it, but recognize it when you leave. The Holy Spirit is with you wherever you go. Amen.